Hey everybody, I'm Dave.
I'm Nick.
And this is Cheap Pops. If you've never watched the show before, we talk mainly wrestling, but we also talk movies, video games, and other stuff, pop culture. We are going to be doing a review of Deadpool and Wolverine with spoilers. I'm getting that out of the way right now, so if you haven't seen it, don't watch this review because we are going to give spoilers.
Spoiler alert!
So, before we get going, any new DLC stuff on the video game lately?
They're talking about DDP DLC, and I'm hoping that they're going to have WCW and WWE version of DDP.
Right. Yeah, that'll be cool. I'd kind of like to see them have the Stalker DDP too. I think that would,
Yes.
have him do an entrance where he rips off the mask. I think that'd be cool too. We haven't played it in a while, but I do like the WWE games, so it'd actually be cool to play it again. I have to say that wrestling legend passed away. Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, died at 74 years old. He had a lot of health issues lately, so that really sucks. Rest in peace, Kevin Sullivan. I was catching up on AEW, and I've said it before, AEW kind of needs a hard reset. They really need to... I'm hoping that after Wembley, they'll kind of change some things, because it's kind of going downhill, and I hate saying that because I like AEW, but Tony Schiavone has turned into Vince McMahon on commentary.
Vince McMahon from the 90s.
Yeah, I heard what a maneuver out of Tony Schiavone at least 4 times during Collision on Saturday. Tony Schiavone drives me nuts anyways. It's not the same as he was. I mean, he's older. He's not going to be the same as he was in WCW, but he's horrible on commentary. You've got other people that could do that. He's just bad. Get him off the show. So it's good to know that he's turning into Vince McMahon. Hopefully he doesn't have the weird idiosyncrasies that Vince does. But I like AEW, but there's only certain things that I can watch. Like on the 10th of August, there was a Texas Bull Rope match with Deonna Purrazzo. Yes, I know, Deonna, my favorite.
Yes.
Against Thunder Rosa in a Texas Bull Rope match. I thought it was a really good match, and that's the thing. They do really good matches. They do really good pay-per-views. But somewhere in between, there's bad stuff that I just,
Chris Jericho.
Yeah, oh my God, the learning tree. He ain't learning nothing about what the people want him to do, so...
It's sad.
But like I said, that Texas Bull Rope match on the 10th of August, if you can watch it, check it out because Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa put on a really good match. You suggested the show The Boys to me, hence the shirt, Homelander, and I'm on episode 1 of season 2, and I have to say I'm glad you suggested it because it's a really, really good show. I have seen previews for the Lord of the Rings prequel, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's before, when the other people get the rings of what they think are the rings of power before Sauron takes over. So I definitely want to watch that, but if they do more of The Boys or anything like The Boys, I'm definitely going to watch it because that's a really, really good show.
It is. There's Gen Z. I haven't checked out Gen Z yet.
Yeah.
But it ties along with the timeline of The Boys.
Oh, that's cool. Another match that I wanted to talk about, you actually watched this with me. At Death Before Dishonor from Ring of Honor, there was a Texas death match, a lot of Texas going on today, with Layla Hirsch against Diamante. What did you think of this match?
It was really good.
That's it? That's all you got? That's all you remember about the match?
Oh, sorry, my eyes were somewhere else. The blood was spot on. Because we talked about it on the last episode. People hated the blood. I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if men are going to bleed from getting hit with a chair or getting hit with thumbtacks, women are going to bleed too. Why should it be any different? I don't get the gross out factor of women bleeding just as much as the men. I think.
I mean, have you ever watched the 2 women fight in the UFC?
Right. But they started fighting on the top of the stage, and Layla Hirsch got thrown off the stage through a table within the first minute of the match. So that showed you what was really going to happen. But chairs and thumbtacks, they both were bleeding. Layla Hirsch did a Samoan drop to the floor on Diamante, which was pretty gnarly but pretty cool. barbed wire boards were set up on the chairs, and Diamante got, that's what she got the Samoan drop through, was that.
Yeah.
Layla Hirsch did a moonsault off the top of the ladder through a table, and I don't know if she just didn't judge it right or whatever, but her arm and her face got caught up on the ladder. It looked bad, but she made it up for the 10 count, and I have to say that was 4 out of 5 stars. That was an amazing match. Best match of the whole show. We're not going to go through that because, to be honest, I didn't take notes, and I really don't remember that much. That was the only match that I took notes on.
Shall we go back to the past, or should we go to the future right now?
Well, why don't you show what you brought with you first?
Okay. Dot, 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 dot. A basic Eddie Guerrero action figure. I have to say, I do like this. From 2004.
Right. And actually, for a basic one, the face on that is better than on some of the Elite ones.
Yes.
I like that. That's really cool. What else you got?
And speaking of Elite, or Ultimate Elite, Undertaker from 2000, either 9 or 10, when he was world champion.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool. Because you know me, Undertaker's my favorite.
Yes, and that looks sick.
I mean, yeah, it's got the coat, it's got the jacket, the jacket and the belt and all that stuff, and
I definitely want to get another one of these because I want one out of the box.
And I'm not one of those people that like changes the heads on these and changes the hands. I mean, I keep them, but I usually don't change a lot if I do open them up. But.
And then this just came in today. And you know me, I love my horror films.
Yep. That's cool. I mean, I'm not a horror guy, but I like that. That's actually pretty cool. That's cool.
Yes.
We did not do an unboxing of the Loot Crate because I didn't know when we were going to record again. And to be honest, I could not open it. I have no willpower when it comes to those.
Neither do I.
So it came with a John Moxley shirt, which is now one of my work shirts, because I'm not a big Moxley fan, but the shirt is cool.
I love the shirt.
And the shirt is comfortable, and there was also a Mankind where it's got the smiley face with the mask and says, "Have a nice day." I don't know if he now owns the copyright to that, but that was a WWE creation and a trademark, that smiley face with the mask, so... Maybe he does own the trademark by now. Maybe they let it lapse, or they made a deal with him where he can use it. But it's a Pro Wrestling Tees, and that's the company that does AEW stuff. So I don't know. But also in the crate, you probably won't be able to see this very well. But oh, there it goes. Rated R Superstar Adam Copeland pin. Always like the pins. One of the micro brawlers was the Mountie. And
a Mountie always gets his man.
Yeah, that's true. And it was really cool meeting him back in the day. And Ricky Starks fell on the floor. He was the other micro brawler. I'm not going to grab him.
Now, see, I got a different DVD.
But it comes with a sealed Ring of Honor DVD. The Champions vs. All-Stars from October 11th, 2014. The main event, Champions vs. All-Stars, hence Champions vs. All-Stars. Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Briscoe, Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions Red Dragon, and Ring of Honor World TV Champion Jay Lethal with Truth Martini against ACH, Roderick Strong, Tommaso Ciampa, who's in WWE right now, and Adam Cole. Matt Taven against the Romantic Touch. If you don't know who the Romantic Touch is, that was Rhett Titus under a mask. Frankie Kazarian against Jimmy Jacobs. Christopher Daniels against Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander's in NXT. Tadarius Thomas, I have no idea who Owen Travers is. Will Ferrara against BJ Whitmer, and Nigel McGuinness makes an announcement. So we'll have to watch this one and
the one I got,
and yeah, review the one that you got. I had stopped the crate, but I saw some of the stuff, the people that were going to be in the next crate, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go back in and I'm going to get this one because they're going to be doing the Toxic Turtles. Toxic Turtles they were done once on WWF TV where jobbers were dressed up in Ninja Turtle, weird like dollar store Ninja Turtle outfits. Excuse me. And they're going to be doing them, and then the Revolting Blob from Billy Madison.
Yes!
I don't know how they're doing this. I don't know if that's going to be like the one of the micro. If that's one of the micro brawlers, that's going to be cool.
Yes.
Even if it's one of the shirts,
I would still buy it. Please
don't do that as socks.
No.
I hate the socks. Please do not do that as the socks. That's all I'm asking. But I love the pro wrestling crates. I hate that they're twice a month now. Or I mean, one every 2 months. That's what I meant. One every other month. Because I liked it when it was every month. It really gave me something to look forward to. I liked it better that way. But they're fun to open. They're fun to look through. I mean, you got a sealed DVD from Ring of Honor, that an event I've never seen before. And I do have Ring of Honor, the Honor Club right now, and I've been going through a lot of the old Ring of Honor events. I mean, there's over 22 years of content for Ring of Honor. I mean, weekly TV shows and all the ones that they used to put out on DVD. So it's really cool to go through all that stuff.
And I was thinking about picking that up and picking up TNA Plus.
I had TNA Plus for a while. I might go back and do it again and behind the hard camera right now, we do have TNA Sacrifice from 2005 playing.
That was a really good year, 2005 was for TNA.
05 for TNA was good. They were starting to, I mean, they had the Spike TV deal at that point, and they were starting to cook. I really liked it. So, since you picked 4 different events, go ahead, hold your sign. Nick's picks, and everybody on the table, aside from Deadpool and Wolverine, has to do with one of the events that we're talking, at least one of the events that we're talking about today. So, you want to go start old school, or do you want to go right into the event that happened a couple weeks ago?
Let's go right from a couple of weeks ago, then we can do our blast from the past.
All right. Summerslam 2024. I really liked this pay-per-view. I think it's the best Summerslam they've done in a long time.
In a really, really long time.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't any really bad matches. Nia Jax. But, I mean, Bayley pretty much carried that match because Nia Jax can't carry a bucket of water. But,
literally, she carried Nia Jax.
Yeah, that's true. She did. I thought the pay-per-view started off hot with Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley for the women's WWE Women's title.
And didn't I say this on the last episode? That I seen Dom doing this.
Oh yeah, I mean they kind of telegraphed it. And I want to mention, I predicted the winner of every single match for SummerSlam. He didn't, but I did. And I haven't done that in a while. You did it. Like, you beat me last time. You beat me, so I won this one. I'm kind of happy about that.
It was kind of neck and neck.
It was, but I got them all right. Just saying. But Mommy, Rhea Ripley popped out her shoulder at one point in the match, and did her best Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon impression and popped it back into place. Not once, but twice. To me, it was ridiculous when she popped it out the second time. To me, just sell it that she popped it back in and that it still hurts.
Yeah.
Her popping it out again and then popping it back in again on the turnbuckle, to me, took me out of it, you know. Plus, in the next 2 matches, people rammed their shoulders into the ring post.
Yeah.
You know, this used to be a gripe of mine, you know, in other pay-per-views. How do you not know, especially with the way stuff has gone over now, where the people go over their matches, how do you not know what they're going to do in the match and look on the monitor at least to see what they're doing? Like, for it to happen in 3 straight matches where somebody's hurting their shoulder, it seems out of place to me. I don't know.
It definitely is.
Another thing I noticed, they're doing a referee cam now where they wear like a headset kind of thing and there's a camera, and it made me laugh because if you remember WCW back in the day, the early 90s, Nick Patrick had to wear a legitimate hockey helmet with a TV camera on it called the referee camera, and he had to try to wrestle that match. He looked like a bobblehead because it would just, you know, it was trying to keep his head up straight. But now they've got the little, you know, like it's pretty much a body camera just on a headset, you know what I mean? I mean, it was cool because you saw Seth Rollins' point of view when he was counting CM Punk down and stuff like that. But that just made me chuckle thinking that Nick Patrick had to wear that huge monstrosity on his head. So I wrote down referee cam, Nick Patrick must be pissed, you know.
And Wasn't it for the Halloween Havoc 93? I think it was 93.
No, it was early. It was like 90, 91 that they were doing it. I don't think they were doing it in 93. But, yeah, because it was like Sid was around, so it was in 93. Because he had it with Brian Pillman against like the Z-Man and stuff like that, so, or Johnny B. Bad or something like that. But, of course, Dominic Mysterio turned on Rhea Ripley. Who didn't see that coming? I mean, no offense to Rhea Ripley, but after Liv Morgan wore those short, jean shorts, the Daisy Dukes, I would have turned on her too, just saying. So Liv Morgan retained. I thought it was a great match, and then Dominic Mysterio kissed Liv Morgan after the match. So, I mean, Rhea Ripley's been a babyface for a while now, so it makes sense to turn her, I think, at this point. So.
Yeah, and Dom wasn't getting any cheers.
Yeah, I mean, and the crowd isn't booing him as much as they were, but now that he's up against Rhea Ripley, I think they're going to start booing him as heavy as they were. So.
Oh, yeah.
Remember what the next match was?
Yeah.
Without looking at my notes?
Fuck, I can't remember.
The Intercontinental title, Braun Breaker against Sami Zayn. The rematch, because Sami Zayn had beaten Braun Breaker at Money in the Bank. So I wrote, so Braun injures his shoulder in this one too. As Jim Cornette would say, lazy booking. It was a really quick match. He pretty much squashed him. It kind of reminded me of like Lesnar and Cena from that one Summerslam where Lesnar just dominated him. But Breaker's the new Intercontinental Champion. They've got high hopes for Braun Breaker. I don't want them to do like they did with Braun Strowman. We're going to talk about LA Knight a little later. So I don't want them to wait too long on Braun Breaker. I get he just came up from NXT, but a lot of the people that come up from NXT, they're ready. I mean, how many people have they pulled up from NXT for the Raw after Mania, and they were ready? People like Paige or, like that.
And they just waste time with them.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them they definitely do. So it's good to see that Braun. And can you call him Steiner? Please, just call him Braun Steiner. You have him on his uncle and father's biography. He inducted him into the Hall of Fame. We know he's a Steiner. Just call him Braun Steiner. This Braun Breaker crap is just stupid.
Yeah.
You don't need to own the names anymore. You can own his name while he's there. I mean, his name isn't even Braun. I think his name is Bronson or whatever, but it's dumb. It's just everybody knows who he is. He barks like his dad. He does he does a huge Frankensteiner off the top rope. We know who he is. Just call him Braun Steiner. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Especially now with Triple H running it. But the next match was the U.S. title. Logan Paul against LA Knight.
Yeah, yep.
MGK came out with Logan Paul. The whole celebrity thing, they're not needed. Like, Jelly Roll is later. And I get that they still think they need mainstream stars to be on. It's not WrestleMania 1.
No.
You don't need Liberace and Dick Clark and Billy Martin and all these people. You don't need it anymore. You're making money hand over fist. You're doing international tours. I mean, you're going to Berlin. You sell out France. I mean, they're going to do a WrestleMania in London at some point now that AEW sold out Wembley Stadium. WWE's going to try to top that. Then London's been trying to get them for a long, long time. So you don't need mainstream. You are mainstream. When people think wrestling, they think WWE. Yes, wrestling fans like us think AEW as well, or TNA, or Ring of Honor, or NWA.
Or the Indies.
Right, but WWE is the brand. WWE is Kleenex. WWE is Band-Aid. WWE is Coke. I don't know. But they fought on the floor. I love that inverted TKO that LA Knight does. I mean, he's got him up on his shoulders for like a torture rack, and then he flips him, over into like a neck breaker. It's a reverse TKO. It's the same move that Mark Merrow would do, just the guy's on his back instead of, doing it into a cutter. But LA Knight did a double jump elbow drop that looks so smooth. I don't know how these guys do moves that are so smooth on those real ropes. Because cables, I can understand, they're a lot, tighter, so it's easier for them to get their footing. I don't know how they do it on those ropes, but it's amazing what they can do.
Speaking about freaking footing, what about Logan Paul?
Oh, dude, his athleticism is just insane. I mean, he did that jump, that moonsault to the floor and stuff. For a guy that, everybody thinks is just a social media influencer and a businessman and stuff, he's a lot like Pat McAfee, just natural, gifted talent, and it's amazing to see. And I know he's a dick, and I know, people don't like him, but he's one of those guys. Yes, he's a mainstream person, but he loves the business, and he does right by the business, and he learned what he was supposed to do, and he does it. And he shows respect for the business, in my opinion.
Unlike some celebrities.
Right, but they use the brass... Yeah, they use the brass knucks again, which is getting old, and Logan Paul's friends getting involved, which is getting old. But he puts on good matches, so I'm not going to complain that much about it. And they finally pulled the trigger on LA Knight. He won the U.S. title, so I'm really happy about that. It's about time. I didn't want him to turn into Braun Strowman, where they waited too long to give him the title, and nobody cared after that.
Right.
So... the next match, Nia Jax against Bayley for the Women's World title.
I had to fast forward.
Yawn. I was watching it live, so I couldn't fast forward it, but if I could, I would. And that's no shade on Bayley. No. Shade on Nia Jax, but no shade on Bayley. And like I said, every match, somebody rammed their shoulder into the post. It was just... the crowd went nuts when Tiffany Stratton ran out with the Money in the Bank case and attempted to cash it in. But she didn't. Nia Jax won. She's the new Women's World Champ. So now we get boring promos and no charisma and no talent in the ring for however long they have her with the title. I hope she's a transitional champion. I hope she doesn't have it much past... Have her losing in Berlin to Tiffany Stratton, please.
Yes. Because... I think the only reason why they teamed her up with Tiffany Stratton is because that's all the charisma right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like teaming up Awesome Kong with somebody in TNA. You needed somebody... Not that Awesome Kong didn't have charisma, but she really wasn't talking or anything, so you really needed somebody around her. Like when they put her with the beautiful people and stuff. But
right.
I had no interest in this match whatsoever. If I didn't have to watch it live, I wouldn't. But the next match... The match of the night, in my opinion, CM Punk against Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as referee. Let's see. Rollins was tying his shoe at one point while CM Punk was ramming Drew McIntyre's head into the steps. They had a spot in like SummerSlam 97 where Rollins was going to hit Drew McIntyre with the chair, and he almost hit Punk with it instead and pulled up short.
And... at the end of the match, same reaction as Shawn did when he counted the shoulders.
Oh, yeah, really Brett, slow count. Yeah,
and he looked at Brett with the... he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, but they used the bracelet, that Drew McIntyre stole from CM Punk. I thought it was a great story. I loved Rollins saying to Punk, it ain't always about you, asshole. Just stuff like that. They really did well in this match. CM Punk hit a GTS on Rollins, and Drew McIntyre eventually got the win. This feud can go on for a long time. We were talking about this. It can go on as long as you want, and you can do it with all three of them. You can do it with just two of them, and you can interchange them. It's amazing what you can do with it.
And if you're going to have an end game to this, have it be the Hell in a Cell and bring Mystique back to the Hell in a Cell.
As long as it's not that orange Hell in a Cell.
You mean red?
Or whatever, but it just looks ungodly. But
no, not the McDonald's Playhouse, please. No.
To me, Hell in a Cell, yes, would be cool. To me, though, bring back the big blue cage, where they've got to climb out or go through the door. Seeing Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins scurrying to get to the door to get away from CM Punk would just be great in my opinion. So I think that would be cool. Bring back the old school blue cage. I'm not surprised Drew got the win. I didn't think they were going to give it to CM Punk at this point. I think they want to do more with this, and Punk will end up winning in the end. They did a segment that I really didn't watch a lot of. Awesome Truth and Waller and Austin Theory in the ring, and Jelly Roll came in, and they all hit a 5-knuckle shuffle on Theory and Waller. The only thing I thought was funny was R-Truth was calling Theory and Waller the Rock and Roll Express. Truth is gold, so I love that.
And let's not forget, Jelly Roll did a fucking choke slam.
Yeah, that's right. He did a choke slam too. So I mean, he's a wrestling fan, so that's cool. But I'm kind of over the you know you know what?
Right.
You know what really made me over the celebrities was when they were having a guest host on Raw.
Oh yes.
Especially because the one that I went to in Albany was Reverend Al Sharpton. No offense to Reverend Al Sharpton, but to me, you're not a guest celebrity for a wrestling show, and I was not excited to see you there, just saying. But the main event, Solo Sikoa against Cody Rhodes. Solo Sikoa calling himself the Tribal Chief.
The baby Umaga.
Right, for the WWE title, Bloodline Rules. It was a slow-paced match. I think they were trying to keep it like the pace that they would for Roman Reigns' matches. But I think it shows how Solo has matured in the ring. I think he's gotten a lot better since he's come up from NXT. And I like him in this role. You know, it's... The crowd really isn't... I mean, they're booing him and stuff, but they're finally starting to give him a chance to be the heel that he can be. And to be honest, Jacob Fatu, once he gets rolling, is going to completely overshadow Solo Sikoa.
Yes.
So that's the only thing for me is... Whatever you're going to do with this, Jacob Fatu eventually is going to come out the ultimate winner. Because how long does Roman Reigns really have left? You know, he's on a short schedule, but they still talk about him having leukemia and all this stuff. So how much time does he really have left? So I think Jacob Fatu, I mean, for God's sakes, talking about this, he hit a whisper in the wind, which is Jeff Hardy's move where he runs up to the ropes and does that flipping senton. A guy that big should not be able to do that. And granted, Kevin Owens, huge dude, a tremendous athlete. Bam Bam Bigelow, you know, Vader, Umaga. And I know a lot of people compare him to Umaga, but I said it on the last episode. You cannot compare Jacob Fatu and Umaga. Jacob Fatu is head and shoulders above Umaga, in my opinion. Go back and watch some of Jacob Fatu's stuff in MLW when he was bigger than he is now. And he was doing the same stuff that he's doing. It blows my mind what he can do. The Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa came out and attacked Cody. And Kevin Owens came out, and I wrote this down. Kevin Owens looks like a dad coming from a barbecue. You know, with like the sweatpants, not sweatpants, but like track pants, kind of track skinny pants, you know, and just his cut off shirt. But to be honest, I think that's the way more run-ins should be, because when Randy Orton runs out wearing a t-shirt and his trunks and his knee pads and his boots, if you weren't wrestling that night, you wearing that stuff looks stupid to me. When Triple H used to run out, he had jeans and boots, like combat boots. That's when he would do what he would do run-ins in, unless, all of DX was in the building and you knew Triple H was going to wrestle anyways. But why is it... Rock used to always come out in street clothes. For promos and stuff. It just... coming out in gear all the time looks weird to me. It's just real... Like when Roddy Piper used to come out, in his gear underneath the kilt all the time just to do a promo. It always just seemed weird to me, I mean, the times that he wore the kilt with the jeans looked really dumb, but it just... Jerry Lawler, it kind of fit the gimmick for him to just be wearing the jacket and the crown and his tights, but it just... I don't know, coming out in gear all the time just is weird to me.
You forgot when Triple H was a heel and he used to wear the track pants.
Oh yeah, he used to wear. Yeah, Rock did it for a while too when he had the pec surgery because he thought he had man boobs and he got the pec surgery to fix that. But of course, the Guerrillas of Destiny attacked or stomped on Kevin Owens, and then Randy Orton came out and they chased the Guerrillas of Destiny out, and it was just Cody and Solo again. Cody went for 3 crossroads, and that's where Jacob Fatu comes out, hits the whisper in the wind, does a splash through the announce table off the top rope onto Cody, and sold it like he hurt his leg. Which, this I heard on Jim Cornette's podcast, and it makes a lot of sense. You don't want to blow your wad on Jacob Fatu against Roman Reigns. So if he is outside selling that he hurt his leg, he's not going to get in the ring and confront Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns is free to just hit Solo like he did with the Superman punch and the spear. Cody Rhodes hits the crossroads and beats Solo Sikoa. The crowd went crazy when Roman Reigns' music hit. I didn't think they were ever going to be able to turn him babyface again, but they did, which is great because every time he takes the time off, when he comes back, he's going to be even more hot. Plus, it seems to me, and I said this to you, it feels like Cody Rhodes' popularity is starting to wane a bit. The what do you want to talk about stuff is not getting the pop that it used to. Yes, they still sing his song, but they're not really cheering for him like they used to.
I want to see Cody Rhodes turn.
Oh, you want him to go full Homelander?
Yes, and turn heel. I would love to see a heel Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I think they should milk it a little bit.
Yes.
Because then he can say, I finished the story. I gave you, a year out of my life. I tore my pec and I came back for you. I finished the story for you. I finished it for Dusty, but most importantly, I finished it for you. And then you cheered Roman Reigns like crazy when he came back in my big moment to beat Solo Sikoa. I think they can really do something like that. A Cody heel turn's eventually going to happen.
You know what would be really cool if they turn him heel against either Roman or with The Rock. Either way,
I don't want to see Rock again.
No,
ever. The WrestleMania 40 was a good way to just go with Rock.
But him turning heel against Roman in a match would be phenomenal.
Right. But eventually, like a lot of people have said, Randy Orton's going to turn on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
you can just tell. But I really thought it was a good SummerSlam, the best they've done in years. Like the one SummerSlam where Lesnar went against Roman Reigns and he brought the payloader out and jumped out of the payloader and lifted up the ring. That was cool. But other than that, what other matches can you think of from that SummerSlam? I can tell you all the matches that happened at this one. Granted, it only happened 2 weeks ago, but I'll be able to remember this one. So.
Oh yes.
So you picked 4 different, SummerSlams. So Nick's picks. Yes, Nick picked. So let's go with one that is my favorite SummerSlam of all time, SummerSlam 1989. Did you watch any of it?
Yes, I did. I got halfway through it. I still got to finish it.
He's going to finish it after we're already done recording.
I got to finish the story, people.
The opening match, non-title, the Brainbusters were the tag team champions at this point. They had just won it against the Hart Foundation. I think a long feud between these two teams could have been really, really good. But I really don't think WWF ever had an idea of what to do with the Brainbusters. It just was not their kind of, gimmick.
Side note from that, it was really cool, and it was because of a lawsuit that they got the Brainbusters to compete in ECW for one of their events.
Did they?
Yes.
I know Arn Anderson was in there. I didn't know Tully was there at that point, but that's cool. Tully Blanchard is such a good chicken shit heel. He was really good in this match. I wrote down classic tag match, 4 real pros, and the Brainbusters got the win. The next match, Dusty Rhodes against the Honky Tonk Man. Dusty Rhodes came out in a policeman's hat with the nightstick.
Yes!
I don't remember what that was for, because he wasn't feuding with the Big Boss Man at that point, so I don't know what that was about. But
it's Dusty Rhodes!
Yeah. But this match was not going to be a classic. This match was all about character and charisma. Jimmy Hart accidentally hit Honky Tonk Man with the guitar and knocked him out, and Dusty Rhodes got the win. And then after the match, Honky Tonk Man did like a weird promo out on the outside talking about Priscilla and and stuff, acting like he was Elvis and stuff, which I thought was pretty funny. As if he had a concussion and he was hallucinating or whatever. But it was entertaining for what it was, but it wasn't going to be a 5-star classic. So. Mr. Perfect against the Red Rooster. I never got Terry Taylor. I never thought he was a good at any character, even the Red Rooster. The one thing I could say for him, though... Oh, I'm sorry. You have something more important going on?
Sorry, mom call.
I guess he could be happy that he didn't have to carry a rooster to the ring like Coca Beware had to carry Frankie the Parrot.
The good thing they didn't do that to him.
Yeah, right? You didn't have to carry a rooster around, so I guess all you had to do was spike a red spot in your hair to look like a rooster, but the Red Rooster controlled most of the match, but Mr. Perfect got a perfect plex out of nowhere for the win, so that's cool. I mean, I don't care about the Red Rooster anyway.
It just sucks how they... the gimmick that they gave him.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to be mid-card no matter what, so... and then up next was the infamous Mean Gene and Rick Rude promo. However, on the original WWE Network, they played this promo because that was the one that played live. Because Peacock is a bunch of bitches, they edited it and put the edited one in. The infamous promo where the Summerslam sign falls down behind Mean Gene and he screams, "Fuck it," and stops the interview. They put the wrong one in live, and that was great, but of course Peacock blurs out things, middle fingers and stuff, and kind of like Fox is doing with SmackDown now.
I can't wait for them to come to Netflix.
Because you know what? Fox is doing it just to be petty. Because they know that they're leaving, so they're doing everything they can to make it look bad by blacking out the screen when stuff is going on.
Yes.
Or, when the crowd is chanting, holy shit, or, shut the fuck up, or whatever. Just, they're not as weird about that stuff anymore as far as a television network goes with getting fines and stuff. Stop that crap.
Really?
That's just dumb. But, whatever. So I thought that would have been great if that was still on there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find it anywhere online. I mean,
definitely. YouTube it.
But it's perfect. Just Mean Gene, fuck it, and just, so. The next match I really liked, the Rockers and Tito Santana against the Rougeaus and Rick Martel. And Jimmy Hart and Slick were with the Rougeaus and Martel. Slick only managed Rick Martel for like a couple months, I think, but... lots of double teaming. It turned into mayhem, and Martel ended up covering Marty for the win. To go blow by blow of this match would take 3 hours. They did so much. A lot of this stuff, the tag matches in the 80s, they did a lot in a short amount of time.
If somebody deserved a good title run, it would have been Rick Martel.
Yeah, he had like the Intercontinental title for a little bit and the TV title in WCW, but yeah, I think
he deserved a world title run.
Another thing that I wrote, well, I didn't write it down, but I remember, I have met everybody in this match with the exception of Rick Martel. I've met both of the Rockers, I've met Jimmy Hart and Slick, and I met both of the Rougeaus, and you were there and you met them as well, so... I think that's pretty cool.
And we met Jimmy Hart, too. So
yep. So, to me, the match of the night, Rick Rude against the Ultimate Warrior for the Intercontinental title. I wrote down steroids galore. If you look at Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude in the summer of 1989, there was a lot of ass syringes going around in the locker room, I'm telling you. A lot of Diana Ball or whatever was going on in that locker room. Holy crap. The one thing I loved was, it was Jesse the Body Ventura and Tony Schiavone, back when Schiavone was actually good on commentary. Schiavone, the Ultimate Warrior was, hit Rick Rude with the Intercontinental title outside the ring. And Schiavone was like, oh, it was outside the ring. And Ventura was like, so what are you saying, Schiavone? Since it's outside the ring, you can shoot somebody outside the ring? You're even dumber than Monsoon. Just, it was great. Jesse was such a great heel commentator, but when he would actually make good points and be forceful about it, it was great.
Yes.
And he was backstage at Raw last week, which... I'm hoping for action figures. I'm hoping for T-shirts.
Yes.
And I'm hoping when they do a retro Raw, Jesse the Body Ventura is doing commentary on one of the matches.
Yes.
Think of Michael Cole and Jesse Ventura on commentary with Jesse Ventura ripping Michael Cole to shreds through the entire 3 hours of Raw.
Oh my God.
On Netflix,
yes.
where Jesse Ventura could say whatever the fuck he wants. That would be tremendous.
Yes.
Tremendous.
What if you get both Pat McAfee and Ventura on commentary together?
I mean, that would be alright. I would rather just have it be two guys with Ventura and somebody else, but Rude was so good at selling, he made Warrior look better than he really was.
Yes.
And then Roddy Piper came out and he mooned Rick Rude, like lifted the kilt. He had a jockstrap on underneath it, but and Warrior regained the title, so it made all the little Warriors happy. I mean,
yay!
I was 8 years old. I was certainly cheering for the Ultimate Warrior when I was 8 years old. But
are you still cheering for him now?
I mean, I met him, so he's dead, so I can't really cheer for him. But another 6-man tag, the Twin Towers, which is Big Boss Man and Hakeem, with Andre the Giant against King Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Demolition. Hacksaw Jim Duggan had like the Jason, mask painted black, because they weren't going to do the full leather, for him just for one match with Demolition. But when he took it off, he had his face painted in the red, white, and blue of the American flag, so that was pretty cool. And since he was King Duggan, he had the 2x4, and the 2x4 had a crown on it. That was pretty cool. You can say what you want about Jim Duggan. You can say that he was goofy or whatever. That man was over and is still over.
Yes!
He comes out for the Royal Rumble or he comes out for a Raw or whatever, the crowd is going to go, ho! They're going to chant USA. They love Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He is somebody that has stood the test of time and always will. A guy like DDP will always get a reaction, and a good reaction, so...
And how the hell did they never give him a world title run in either WCW or WWF is beyond me.
They were never going to do it in WCW. I could have seen an Intercontinental title run, and they actually were... They kind of made it possible in '93 when he feuded with Shawn Michaels for a few weeks on Monday Night Raw and almost beat him for the title until Yokozuna interfered in the Lumberjack match, which was a good program. I think it went 3 weeks. It was actually really good. And it was when Hacksaw was pretty... Well, he wasn't leaving, but... I mean, Hogan had already left, and Hogan was one of his best friends, so it kind of looked like... And they were going for, like, the new generation kind of thing, so... I mean, Boss Man left, Duggan left, the Nasty Boys left, a lot of Bulldog... Well, Bulldog got fired for, drugs, but... Whatever.
Yeah, that's besides the point.
But, Duggan hit... I think he hit Boss Man with the 2x4, and got the win for him in Demolition, so... And of course, Jesse Ventura went nuts because Duggan used the 2x4, which if Andre used the 2x4, Jesse Ventura would have been all over it because he's the heel announcer, so it's fine, one of the best color, no offense to Jerry the King Lawler, but to me, Jesse Ventura will always be the best color man. Bobby Heenan, perfect.
Yes.
But as far as a color analyst, Jesse Ventura, hands down, in my opinion.
And... perfect one that was always with him, Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I liked him with Vince, but him and Gorilla Monsoon, that was magic.
Yes.
Remember what the next match was, since how you got partway through it?
I think that's as far as I got with it.
Greg the Hammer Valentine against Hercules with Rugged Ronnie Garvin as guest ring announcer. And Ronnie Garvin said, he's allegedly from, Seattle, Washington, and... he weighs 249 pounds. In my opinion, he looks like he's overweight by at least 30 pounds, and he's the only wrestler I know with 2 left feet. Just so good, to keep going the feud with him and Greg Valentine. Valentine won with his feet on the ropes, and then Garvin said Hercules won, so Valentine attacked him and knocked him out of the ring. It was a good way of, keeping the feud going, and it led up to one of my favorite matches that I will always go back to. In fact, when I was, maybe 15 or 16, I was friends with a tape trader, and he used to make compilation videos. And this match was on one of my favorite matches videos that I had him make. Greg the Hammer Valentine against Rugged Ronnie Garvin, submission match from Royal Rumble 1990. And yes, Nick, not you, another Nick, we are going to be covering Royal Rumble 1990 very soon. I know you asked for it a long time ago, but I don't always remember things, but it's going to happen. You know what? I'm going to write it down right now, just on my notes so I remember. So, but I did remember, so that's one that's a Dave pick.
Yeah.
You know, it is a Nick pick, because Nick, who watches the show, asked for it. So keep watching, Nick. I just letting you know. And then, of course, you go backstage, go online, just type in Cauldron, Macho Man Zeus, and Queen Sherry. The drugs that were done to record this promo. Wow. Just the cauldron of the madness, and you got Zeus in the background beating his chest and brah, and he's got his cross eyes. Nothing against people with cross eyes, but even Macho Man, pointing at Zeus and saying the eye of the madness when poor Zeus's eyes are crossed, and go watch this promo. Mean Gene Okerlund with Macho Man Zeus and Sherry. This is gold. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Hogan and Macho Man were doing drugs before some of these promos. You cannot tell me that some of these promos were not done on cocaine.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. And Macho Man, always intense. But then you see him go on Arsenio Hall or something like that, or do charity events, and he's chill. He's still doing Macho Man, but he ain't doing what he's doing in these promos. I'm just saying,
Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 3?
Oh
my God!
Yeah, or like the stuff he would do with Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
Go watch the Ultimate Maniacs promos with
Warrior
and Macho Man. Yeah, just go watch that promo, the Cauldron promo.
Shit!
Ted DiBiase against Jimmy Snuka. Ted DiBiase had Virgil with him. Jimmy Snuka screwed up a double leapfrog, but I mean Jimmy was kind of on the downhill at this point, anyways. Ted DiBiase won by countout. Superfly Jimmy Snuka hit the Superfly splash on Virgil after the match. One thing that struck me was, because you just don't see it now because of the sophistication of the phones that people have and the lighting, that are in these arenas, the amount of flash bulbs that went off when Jimmy Snuka jumped off the top rope. Or you go back to WrestleMania 3 and flash bulbs. Or Hogan against Rock at WrestleMania 18, just the flash bulbs. That's something that's missing. Okay, Uncle Howdy comes out, you've got the fireflies, with the the lights on their phones. That's not the same. It's just not. That's what really struck me about the match. And then I put coked up promo by Brutus and Hulk. The Genius came out and did a promo. I've met Lanny Poffo, really cool dude.
Leaping Lanny Poffo, yep. Going Poffo!
Right. But Randy Savage and Zeus against Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Hulk Hogan. As an adult, I see that Zeus is ridiculous, it's silly, but as an 8-year-old, I remember watching No Holds Barred. Dookie! I remember Zeus, I remember, Stan Hansen saying teeny wangers, I remember all that, or I even remember, Hulk Hogan stopping a rape by, putting the guy on his motorcycle and ramming him into a tree, not calling the cops or anything because, attempted rape, but, we'll just throw him into a tree and just let him go, but, but I remember Zeus being a badass when he came out, beating his chest and not really saying much. I loved it as a kid, but now I can look back at it and see it was horrible.
Bring it back to memory lane there, Dave.
Right. Zeus sold no everything except an eye rake. He's got, cross eyes, I guess, going to his eyes. That might be his kryptonite, I'm just saying. But lots of story in this match. Macho Man's a pro. I mean, to get any kind of a match. And so is Hulk Hogan. I'm not going to say Brutus is a pro, but... Hogan hit Zeus with the loaded purse, Sherry's loaded purse, and then slammed him. Won with a leg drop. Big surprise there. And then Miss Elizabeth, who was out with Brutus and Hulk, hit Sherry with the loaded purse, and then, I mean, it was an extension that, you know, was like on top of Sherry's head. They cut, you know, that off. Brutus cut that off with the shears, you know, so... it was good. I mean, it's 1989. It's Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake. You know, Macho Man carried the match. You know, so. So do you want to do 99 or 2002 or 2003?
99.
Oh, we're going right in order, huh?
Yes.
All right. So what do you remember was the first match in 1999?
I know it wasn't the Roman Road Dogg match. I think that was 3. It was Deborah. Well, it was the first thing out with Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, for the European and Intercontinental title. Deborah came out with Jeff Jarrett, but then he sent her to the back, and then came out with D'Lo. D'Lo at this point was Intercontinental and European champion.
And he was so over.
He was. I wrote that. He's so over in 99. They totally dropped the ball on D'Lo. I thought it was a good match. Mark Henry came out, took the guitar away from Jeff Jarrett, and ended up hitting D'Lo Brown, and Jeff Jarrett won both belts. And then the next night on Raw, Jeff Jarrett gave the European title to Mark Henry. So.
I think the biggest downfall of D'Lo was the accident with Droz.
I mean, yeah, but this was after. Well, no, this was before that, but still, they just totally dropped the ball with D'Lo, and even Droz said it wasn't D'Lo's fault.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but next was the tag team turmoil match for #1 contender. The tag division was stacked in the Attitude.
Yes.
The New Brood, which was the Hardys against Edge and Christian, high spots and craziness. Brood was eliminated, and that brought out Mideon and Viscera. It wasn't the Ministry anymore at this point, or even the corporate Ministry at this point. They were still doing their Ministry kind of gimmicks, but Edge and Christian eliminated them, and that brought out Droz and Prince Albert. And then Edge and Christian eliminated them, and then the Acolytes ended up coming out before their music even hit, which I thought was funny. The Acolytes advanced with a clothesline from hell. The last team out was the Hollies, Hardcore Holly and Crash Holly. Crash Holly had only been there for like a month at that point. Such good stuff.
Yes.
They would fight amongst each other, and it was just so good. The Acolytes won and became #1 contenders for the tag titles. And now this is...
Yes, the Roman Road Dogg.
Road Dogg comes out for a promo, and Chris Jericho comes out and stands on top of the Lion's Den and starts trying to cut down the Road Dogg.
And you said this is one of your favorite promos.
Oh, yeah, it was great. Jericho was in his prime at this point. He wasn't quite the Learning Tree because the Learning Tree sucks. Jericho was actually good back then. And of course, Road Dogg was great. Road Dogg did commentary for the Hardcore title match, you know, following behind them and stuff. It was great.
That's going to cost him Vince some money.
Yeah.
Or Big Boss Man.
So it was Al Snow against Big Boss Man for the Hardcore title. They went backstage, and then they went to the bar across the street. They went to the men's room where Al Snow hit the Boss Man in the face with a urinal cake and stuff.
Can we talk about how great the Hardcore matches were back then?
They were, well, not all of them were good. Many of them were good, but not all of them were good. But I did enjoy it. Much more than the 24/7 title bastardized it later. But, Al Snow did a moonsault off of the bar onto a table at one point. Road Dogg hit Boss Man in the back of the head with the nightstick, and Al Snow covered him on the pool table for, to win the Hardcore title.
I don't know how many times he's won it at that point.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Next match for the women's title, Ivory coming in as the champion against Tori. It was an okay match. To me, it looked like they were rushing to get everything in. Ivory won, retained the title.
And of course, this is back then when they didn't care about the women's division.
Yeah, there really wasn't much of a division at this point. Especially when you got Mae Young and Moolah getting involved. So. The next match was the Lion's Den weapons match. Steve Blackman against Ken Shamrock. Of course, the Lions Den match is Shamrock's specialty, and Weapons is Blackman's specialty, so you put them both together.
And these two had a great feud.
Yeah, they really did. They built it up for a while, and they even threw Dan Severn in at one point. I thought this was a cool gimmick. I mean, the Lions Den, where it's kind of like the UFC cage, but it's elongated, and there's a walkway on top for the referee, and you've got to climb out to win the match. I thought that was a really cool concept. Shamrock knocked out Blackman with the kendo stick and climbed out to get the win. I mean, there's not a lot. They hit each other with weapons. They did a couple suplexes. You know,
I think this Lions Den match was better than the Owen Hart.
Oh, yeah, I think it was.
But their best match that they did was the dungeon match that they had together.
Oh, yeah, I thought that one was pretty cool, definitely. Next was Love Her or Leave Her, the No DQ match. Test against Shane McMahon.
The commentary on this was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, King was and JR were both in there.
Yes.
On this one. The Mean Street Posse came out, and they had a couch set up for him on the front row. That was funny. A great street fight, really showed what Shane McMahon can do. Did an elbow drop off the top rope through the Spanish announce table on Test.
And Test was so over at this time.
Yeah, because he was with Stephanie. After that, nobody gave a shit.
No.
The Mean Street Posse interfered until the Stooges, Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson came out to make the save. Test won with a pump handle slam and an elbow drop off the top rope. And then Stephanie McMahon ran out and hugged him because they could stay together as a couple. So that was pretty cool.
Until how many? Couple months later, I think.
Yeah, when Stephanie married Triple H. Yeah. Was this your favorite match? The tag titles, Kane and X-Pac against the unholy alliance of Undertaker and Big Show?
Not my favorite. My favorite match was the hardcore match.
Okay.
This has to be the second one.
I loved this tag match back when Big Show was featured and worked like a giant.
Yes, and I think legit the Undertaker got mad at him at the end of this match.
Oh yeah, you could tell. And Undertaker was injured at this point, and he left like right before the next pay-per-view. You know, just left, and he didn't return until like May of 2000 as the American Badass. So yeah, he was hurting at this point.
Yeah, and I wish I could read his lips, but you can hear him basically bitching Big Show out.
Yeah. And just so you know, it's 90 degrees in upstate New York right now, so we're both sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
Just so you know. So it was cool to see Undertaker. I mean, this Undertaker action figure right here is from that match with the tag titles from that match on his shoulder. The Chris Jericho in front of him is when he did that promo in the spangly outfit from that pay-per-view. Just saying. The next match, the Kiss My Ass match, Billy Gunn against The Rock.
Oh shit, we forgot to say who won that match. But yeah.
Undertaker and Big Show won the tag titles. Billy Gunn brought out a large woman and said that Rock's not going to kiss his ass, he's going to kiss her ass. I forgot that a lot of The Rock's matches, they pretty much just went to the floor and out into the crowd, and that was the bulk of his matches. For anybody that says that The Rock was a great wrestler, watch 99 and 2000 and tell me that The Rock was a great wrestler. Even his matches with Mick Foley. The hour-long match with Triple H in 2000, you know who carried that match? Triple fucking H. And I'm not a big Triple H guy, but Rock didn't carry that match, and that match they went out to the floor for a long time too, so just saying, Rock was never a good wrestler. Never. They say never, I'm saying never, and he's even worse now that he's jacked to the gills.
Oh my god.
I said steroids galore before. The Rock. The Rock made Billy Gunn kiss that woman's ass, and then The Rock bottom at people's elbow for the win, so...
And he's pretty sad because it looked like Billy Gunn carried that match.
Yeah, and Billy Gunn had just won the King of the Ring, and they didn't do anything with him at that point, and then they just reunited him with Road Dogg later, and they became the New Age Outlaws again, and went with Triple H in China again, and it became DX again. Not that I'm complaining about that.
No.
Billy Gunn had potential, but
yes,
kind of like D'Lo. You know, so
pissed it away.
Yep, the main event for the World Wrestling Federation title, Triple H against Stone Cold Steve Austin against Mankind, with Jesse Ventura as the special referee. Of course, this was in Minnesota. Jesse Ventura was the governor at the time, so it made a lot of sense. Crazy triple threat with Ventura as the ref. Triple H hit, I think he hit Mankind with the steel chair and covered him, and Jesse said, nope, you used the chair, I'm not going to count the pinfall, so that was pretty cool. One funny part, Austin went to talk trash.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
I think he threw Shane McMahon, when Shane McMahon got thrown over the top rope. And he kind of like flipped and got his leg caught in the rope and was hanging upside down, and Triple H had to help him out. That was pretty funny. Triple H hit the pedigree, but Mankind interrupted the cover and got the pin for the win. And that means Mankind had won the title for 3 times in 1 year. Granted, like, he only held the title for 10 days, I think, at one point in the early 99, but whatever. He still won it 3 times in 1 year, so.
And at least they pulled the trigger on him.
Yep, and Triple H wore out Austin's knee with the steel chair leading up to their No Mercy match the next month.
And let's not forget the next night on Raw. That's when Triple H, they pulled the trigger on Triple H to win the world title.
That's right, yeah, I forgot about that. That's true, they did do that. Let's see, what else was I going to talk about? There was something else I was going to... Oh! Before we go on to another nitpick, let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes!
So, if you haven't seen it, this is the part where... Don't listen. No, just sit there.
Spoiler!
You know, I had already seen it. I saw it like the week that it came out. Loved it. One of the best Marvel movies. You and I went and saw it yesterday. What was your opinion on Deadpool and Wolverine?
I really, really liked it. They worked great together. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and they're legitimate friends, so it makes a lot of sense. And, I mean, the cameos.
Yes.
To have, Jesus, I can't even think of his name right now. The guy who plays Captain America. Oh my God, I can't even think of his name. Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Coming out, and it looks like he's Captain America, but he's not. He's Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four. He says flame out and flies. Such good stuff. I mean, you had Henry Cavill as Wolverine, but, I mean, he's Superman, and now he's Wolverine. A variant of Wolverine. Such good stuff. Blade makes an appearance. Elektra is in it.
Yes.
The girl that plays X-23. And Channing Tatum finally gets to fulfill his wish and be Gambit, and he
killed it.
And Tyler Mane came back as Sabretooth, which was cool because I met Tyler Mane in a Comic-Con. That's really cool. Just the cameos. I mean, Blake Lively as Lady Pool, and
yes,
Ryan Reynolds as Baby Pool, and it was
Let's
so
not
fun.
forget the dog.
Yeah, Dog Pool. It was so good. So much, the fights between Wolverine and Deadpool were really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. The cameos were just so good, and to have Deadpool in the MCU now is really cool. He's already slid through time twice now. He can do it again. They even use Doctor Strange's, stuff and, the portals that he makes. The thing with Ant-Man where he's Giant Man and his, it's his skull. The thing opens up and he's huge and it's his skull.
Paul Rudd finally aged.
Yeah, I think there were a few too many jokes, but it's Deadpool. He's going to be making jokes, so I really loved it. I went and saw it a second time just so he could watch it.
Yes.
I thought it was really, really good, and to see Wolverine, pull down the mask and wear the mask when they were fighting at one point was just so good.
And it was worth going also because we got some merchandise.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because we're going to go see that movie too, but I really, really enjoyed it, so I would suggest everybody, if you're a fan of superhero movies, to go see it because it was really, really good. August 31st, we will be going to a World of Hurt show that Mick Foley is going to be at. It's going to be his first time meeting Mick Foley, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Bang, bang.
So I'm not going to because I've met him twice. So, actually, no. I've met him 3 times. Once in 2010, I think 2013, and 2016. So, but that'll be fun. We're traveling to Vermont for that. It's only an hour away. That's probably one of the closest shows we've ever gone to. So.
And let's not forget our big trip.
Oh yeah, we are going to go down to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in New Jersey, and going to go down to the Quick Stop as well, which will be fun. So we'll talk about that as well.
Yes.
So let's get into 2002 SummerSlam. What's the first match on that one?
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio against Kurt Angle.
He likes cookies.
I'm Rey Mysterio. I like cookies. Gotta love Santino around.
Yes.
Hot way to start the pay-per-view. Really showed what Rey Mysterio can do, because back then his knees weren't as bad. Kurt was the perfect debut for Rey, in my opinion, on pay-per-view. Great meshing of styles. Kurt made Rey tap out after a fast-paced match. Really loved it. Ric Flair versus Chris Jericho. This time, they overdubbed Ric Flair's music with his 1991 Real World's Champion music, which I didn't understand, because it's public domain music. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but whatever. Good match, lots of chops. Chris Jericho put the figure 4 on Ric Flair, and Flair grabbed the rope and tapped out at the same time, so Jericho thought he won. Ric Flair hits a low blow on Jericho and then puts him in the figure 4, and Jericho taps out. So, pretty cool. Eddie Guerrero against Edge. I loved Edge coming out to the Rob Zombie music. Never Gonna Stop. I loved that version of Edge. I know Alter Bridge became iconic, and he still uses it to this day. But I did like the time when he used Rob Zombie. Really good match. The Ruthless Aggression era had some great matches with young guys like these. And Edge won. What'd you think of this one?
This was, I think, their second match together, or I know they had several matches together.
I don't remember, but
this was one of their really, really good ones.
Yeah. For the tag titles, Book Dust, Booker T, and Gold Dust, which was such a good. It kind of reminds me of R-Truth at this point with the stuff that Gold Dust and Booker T was doing.
Yeah.
Against Christian and Lance Storm, the Un-Americans. I put tag team wrestling done right, old school tag psychology. Test interfered with the big boot, and the Un-Americans retained. It was good.
I think the next match was Undertaker versus Test.
No. Close. Rob Van Dam against Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental title. I just put 5-star Frog Splash for the win, and Rob Van Dam brings the Intercontinental title to Raw. And then they go backstage where Stephanie McMahon is in the general manager room with Eric Bischoff, and Stephanie McMahon laughs in Eric Bischoff's face, and I'll explain why later in the show. Next match now is Test against The Undertaker. Undertaker does a leapfrog over Test at one point in this match. It's good to know Undertaker's knees were pretty good at this point.
Yes.
To be doing a leapfrog. I thought it was an okay match. There was interference, and then Undertaker won with a tombstone. I mean, it's Undertaker against Test. I love Undertaker, but it's Undertaker against Test. What do you want me to say?
It's two big guys.
Yeah. But the match of this pay-per-view, Triple H against Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels return match, unsanctioned. Amazing build-up video, going all the way back to the 1997 DX stuff. Trash cans, tables, ladders, all kinds of stuff. If you're going to watch one Shawn Michaels match,
this has to be one of them.
Yeah, it really is.
And
top 10 Shawn Michaels matches.
And if you're going to watch another match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, 3 Stages of Hell, and definitely their Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood.
I know, you really like that one. I'm not a big fan of that one. But
you're not a big fan of the Bad Blood?
Hell in a Cell, I'm kind of choosy on some of the Hell in a Cells. But Triple H focused on Shawn Michaels' back, which he had just come back from 4 years off with a bad back, so that makes a lot of sense. I wrote ladders and tables. Shawn Michaels wins with a jackknife roll-up. And then Triple H hits Shawn Michaels in the back twice with a sledgehammer. And Shawn Michaels is stretchered out. So,
and such good shit.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite things, though, Howard Finkel comes out and does a promo with the crowd. And then Trish comes out and Lillian Garcia comes out. And one of the best low blows ever, just kicks the shit out of Howard Finkel and knocks herself over in the process.
Yes.
And so I put best low blow ever. It was really funny. Brock against Rock for the undisputed title.
And didn't we just get done saying this? Him going outside of the ring for most of the match?
Yeah. Brock got the title shot because he won King of the Ring.
Then we talked about this on another show where it was Brock versus Hulk Hogan on just a random SmackDown.
Yeah.
Just the star power that they had back then.
Yep, but lots of Rocky Sucks chants because the fans were pissed that he was going to do movies.
Yep.
Like usual, Rock matches grow into a crowd. It's like a crutch. They did double nip-ups at the same time, which was pretty cool. Heyman got rocked bottom through the announce table, which was pretty funny. Brock won the title with the F5. And that's why Stephanie McMahon was laughing, because Brock Lesnar became exclusive to SmackDown by winning the undisputed title. So
yes.
That's why she was laughing.
Then that's when they brought back the world title.
For Triple H. Yes.
But before they even did that, it was supposed to be a number one contenders match in that Triple H won.
Yeah. And, of course, you picked 2003. First match for the World Tag Team titles, the Dudleys against La Resistance. I think La Resistance was a highly underrated tag team.
Yes.
Such a good gimmick, and I thought it was really good. Rob Conway interfered and helped them retain, and then they ended up becoming a 3-person faction. So, the next match I fast-forwarded. Undertaker against A-Train with Sable with A-Train. And then after the match, Stephanie McMahon came out to attack Sable, and that led into their match at the next pay-per-view. I love Undertaker. He's my favorite wrestler, but Undertaker against A-Train, we're fast-forwarding through that.
My favorite feud of the Undertaker's back then, Undertaker, Lesnar, 2002. That whole entire feud.
Yeah, and then they did it again at the end of 2003.
Yes, and there were some good matches that they had.
Yep. For me, the match of the night, though, Shane McMahon against Eric Bischoff. They did the Eric and Linda video where, Eric Bischoff made out with Linda McMahon and all that stuff. I wrote, Eric isn't quite as awkward as Vince, but he's pretty damn close.
Yes!
Coach hit Shane with a chair and turned heel. And Eric Bischoff made
what
the match.
A slobber knocker!
Yeah, made the match no DQ and falls count anywhere. Shane fought back, and then Stone Cold came out. And both Coach and Eric Bischoff provoked Steve Austin, and both got stunners. And Shane McMahon did the elbow drop off the top rope through the announce table.
Did you see the look on, not Mike Chioda, Little Nate's face, though, when then Coach slapped Austin?
No. Bischoff slapped Austin.
Bischoff
Shane just pushed Coach into Austin.
And he's like, ooh.
Yeah, Shane ended up winning, and then did, toasted beers with Austin after the match. So it was really, really good.
And this is when Shane was a really good babyface.
Yep. The next match was a fatal 4-way for the U.S. title. Chris Benoit, Tajiri, Rhino, and Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero came in as champion. I fast-forwarded through this, too. I'm sure it was really good. I don't remember a lot about it.
It was a really,
For
really
me,
good match.
I'm burnt out on the 4-ways. Not so much but the 4-ways. It's a cluster. Eddie Guerrero retained. I'm sure it was great. I'm sorry, I fast forwarded through it. You got anything other to say about this one?
I'm trying to remember a lot of it, but it was that was a really good match.
I'm sure it was. I'm burnt out on them.
It would have been better if it was just Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit for the U.S. title.
I get that.
Because they had a lot of good matches together.
They really did. The next match, Kurt Angle against Brock Lesnar for the WWE title.
Hands down, And this was the rematch from WrestleMania.
Yeah. I wrote amazing wrestling match. Vince hit Kurt with a chair. Brock tapped out and Kurt retained. And then Vince went to go hit Kurt Angle with the chair and just crumpled to the mat. It was just so bad. Like he did when Austin tried to hit him with the stunner. And then he took an Angle slam on the open steel chair, which was pretty cool.
And just his reaction.
Yeah, and it was Vince's birthday, which usually was the case around Summerslam.
Oh, yeah.
Kane against Rob Van Dam. I love this era of Kane right after he took the mask off.
Yes.
Set JR on fire, Tombstone Linda McMahon, just such good stuff.
They could have done a lot more with him.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty well featured, though, in the mid-card.
Yes.
03, 04. He did a tombstone on the stairs and beat Rob Van Dam, he being Kane. I thought it was a good match. And then, of course, the main event, Triple H against Shawn Michaels, against Randy Orton, against Kevin Nash, against Chris Jericho, against Goldberg in the Elimination Chamber.
And this was Kevin Nash's last match.
Yeah, in WWE, yeah, because and if you notice, he's got the blonde, crew cut. It wasn't because they wanted to do a hair match, it was because Kevin Nash was going to film The Punisher.
Yes.
So he, had the blonde hair, the short blonde hair at that point. I wrote, Shawn Michaels and Jericho start, and then Randy Orton is the first to come out of his pod, and then Kevin Nash. Shawn Michaels hit a super kick on Nash, and Jericho did a roll-up for the pin. And then Shawn Michaels kind of rolled out near the Triple H's pod, and when Triple H's pod opened, Shawn Michaels just super kicked him, and Triple H, fell into the pod. Triple H was injured at this point. I think he had a torn hamstring at this point.
Torn quad. No.
No, he had not torn his quad at this point.
Groin. Yeah, torn groin.
Nash powerbombed Jericho, and a huge one on Randy Orton. Just let him drop, and Orton sold it really good. And then, of course, Goldberg comes out, does a press power slam, slams...
He destroyed everybody.
Press slammed Jericho from the ring out to the chains on the outside of the Elimination Chamber, and then kind of double clutched on the spear through the pod, which was kind of funny. And avoids the super kick and hits the spear, hits the jackhammer and eliminates Shawn Michaels, does the same thing to Jericho, and then busts through the pod with kicks and punches and kicks to get to Triple H.
Let's not forget Triple H went like this to him.
Yeah, and Flair which was funny because they blurred out Ric Flair's middle fingers, but they didn't blur out Triple H's. Be consistent,
really.
For the love of God. Goldberg went for the spear, but Flair expertly slid the sledgehammer into Triple H. And Triple H
smooth.
Yep, Triple H hit him with the sledgehammer and got the pedigree for the win. And then Randy Orton comes out, and Evolution, not full Evolution because Batista wasn't with him at this point, they handcuff him to the cage and just beat him down with a sledgehammer, which was pretty cool.
Such good shit.
Yeah, and Triple H remains WWE champion.
World champion.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll give you a whatever.
You're right. For once, you're right. I don't know what we're going to talk about on the next episode other than AEW is doing All In at Wembley Stadium on the 25th of August, and WWE is doing Bash in Berlin the same day that we are going to meet Mick Foley. So we'll talk about All In, we'll probably talk about Bash in Berlin, and we'll talk about the Mick Foley match or show, and we'll talk about going to the secret stash and all the stuff that we see there, and I'll post pictures of us at the Quick Stop because we're definitely going to take pictures in front of the Quick Stop.
You're damn right.
If you don't know Kevin Smith movies, then you have no idea what we're talking about.
Exactly.
But you should know Kevin Smith movies by now. They're really good. I'm sure we'll talk about AEW, Ring of Honor, especially if you're going to get Ring of Honor and watch some of it. So, actually, we didn't talk about one match. Let's talk about, you watched a classic match with me, Kevin Owens against El Generico, who is, well, he was Kevin Steen, not Kevin Owens at this point. El Generico, also known as Sami Zayn, in a ladder war for the Ring of Honor World title from 2012.
And they're not WWE ladders. They're fucking painter ladders.
Yeah, it was really gnarly. I mean, a package pile driver through the ladders at one point on El Generico.
That was the end of the match, too.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I would suggest Final Battle 2012. Yes. Really, go watch that. It's really
And there was another one that we watched, too. Adam Cole.
Oh, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, where Kyle O'Reilly knocks two of Adam Cole's teeth out, and his mouth is just gushing blood, and you can see the teeth on the ring mat, and they show a close-up of it at one point.
Yes.
If you watch the match closely, you can see Adam Cole's teeth. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a really good one as well. That was I think that one was for 2012 as well. Really, really good. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about, like I said. Follow our social media at Cheap Pop Show. I mean, it's right behind me. Twitter, Facebook. Mostly on Facebook, because Twitter is kind of a shit show now since Elon Musk took it over. But I'm going to delete our Instagram. I'm just because I haven't posted anything on it in a long time. So
unless we take more pictures, like we're going to be
maybe, but I'd rather just do on Facebook and Twitter at this point.
Yeah.
And we keep saying it, we are going to do more TikTok videos at some point, but, so
definitely
at Cheap Pop Show on social media, cheappops.redbubble.com for our merchandise, cheappopshow.com, we got all kinds of stuff, and, so
we got a lot of merchandise.
Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment. Just let us know what you think of the show.
I mean, we still got that one negative comment, but
I'm all right with that. If you think the show sucks, let me know. I'm not going to take offense to it, because I know there's people that like what we do, and we like what we do, and that's all that matters to us.
And we have a lot of fun.
We do. So follow at Cheap Pop Show for all updates, and I'm Dave.
I'm Nick.
Thanks for checking out Cheap Pops. What is it?
Pop Guys out.